so that it only captures your webcam. This is a full screen view, very clear, and happy streaming. Before I exit OBS, I got a reminder that when I was doing the testing for Digicam control, when I used OBS 64-bit version, it closed after 15 or 20 minutes. But when I shifted to 32-bit, it worked fine. So maybe you can just try. If it works fine for 64-bit, good. Otherwise, you may try this on 32-bit version. If you know of any other
Hey everybody, it's Ivy here. So today's video is about how to use your DSLR camera as a webcam for OBS Studio. So the prerequisites for this video are you need to have a DSLR camera and a USB cable to connect your camera to your computer. The purpose of this video is so if you want to use a better camera than a normal webcam to pick up what you would normally pick up in a webcam while you're streaming or recording a video or anything, because DSLRs are better, and if you already have one, why not use it? So to get started, if you're using OBS Studio, there's not any way to completely sync up your camera as an input device. So to get started, you need this free software called Digicam Control, and what it allows you to do is control your camera and see a live feed from your Windows PC. So what you're going to do is you're going to open it up and you're going to see this blank screen. You don't need to do any setup to have it talk to your camera at all. As long as your camera's plugged in and your computer recognizes it, you're good to go. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this LV button, which means live view, and you're going to get this live view of your camera. So the point of the video is that since OBS doesn't have any way for you to talk to your camera, you're going to take a window capture or a screen capture of this live view and use that as your camera. It's kind of janky, but it works. So we're just going to go with it. So what you want to do before you start capturing is you want to make sure everything is set up so you can check the white balancing, and then like focusing, so you can double click to have an autofocus, or if for whatever reason you wanted to focus something else, you can click elsewhere and focus background or back to you. And then once you have it all good, you're gonna have to do some weird stuff to get this completely set up, but you don't really need to mess with too much over here because we're not actually capturing any video or anything, we're just using this live feed. So you can mess with things like the white balance and the exposure, but everything else won't make a huge difference since we're not actually capturing. So now you're going to open it in full screen, and what this does is it removes all of the tool settings and any overlays that were on it, and then you're going to put it back to not full screen. And then this is the weird part, you have to do this a second time because otherwise this screen will stay on top when you switch back to OBS, so you won't be able to see anything. If you have a second monitor, that's totally fine, but if you're only using one monitor, you kind of want that to go to the background. So now you're going to open up OBS, and you're going to add a new source. So you're going to click on Add, click on Window Capture, give it a name, so like DSLR Live, and then create that. And you're gonna choose the window or the camera control live view. You're gonna take away capture cursor because you don't want it to capture your cursor in case you have to do anything on the screen. And then add it. And now from here, this is where you get to customize it. So making sure you have the DSLR source selected, you can drag and drop the little circles on the edges to resize it, and then you can hold down Alt and drag one of the circles to crop it. So crop it to where you want it, making sure to click on the circles, and then once you have it cropped, you can resize it again to put it somewhere. So this is slightly smaller than I need. It's also not going to fit perfectly because my other webcam photo was cropped to a square, and you can use the arrow keys to move it around and stuff. But in that sense, we now have our DSLR as our input for OBS Studio to replace my old webcam video. And if I put them side by side, you can see how different they are in terms of white balancing, and they're both small right now, so you can't tell, but it's a lot easier to see me over the background because the background is blurred and you get this nice little like bokeh affections ideas, or you guys have dealt with something before.
So what is the best live streaming setup for YouTube Live and Facebook if you want your content to stand out and really have a higher quality than most of the stuff that you see out there? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the gear that I've been using lately, coming up. Hey, what's up? Sean here with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And on this channel, we do a lot of tips and strategy videos as well as tech gear reviews, just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And hey, at any point during the video, I'm going to list out all of the various pieces of this live streaming setup in the YouTube description below, as well as any of the accessories or things that I forgot. So check those out at any time. Let's jump into the video. So one thing is for sure, you need to be live streaming. I hope that you already have been, because right now live video is on fire. It's one of the best ways to build your influence and ultimately your income and your impact as well, using platforms like YouTube Live, Facebook Live, or even other platforms like Periscope and these other live streaming opportunities. But how do you create content that's really distinct and stands out from what everybody else is putting out? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a premium setup. Like, this is no joke. It's not a budget setup, but on a practical sense, I want to say up front, you can get started with what you have. Keep in mind that you can always go live from your phone. Like, most smartphones can produce awesome live video. And then secondly, the budget setup that I used for years consisted of this Logitech webcam. This is the HD Pro C piece, and it's really expensive if you buy the OEM stuff from Panasonic. I think together that was another $150. Now there is an aftermarket one, but for me, I was like, man, I'm already spending a lot of money to buy a camera that's this nice. I don't want to go cheap on the continuous power that I'm going to be using for years to come. And so this allows it to, you don't need to change batteries. It's just continuously powered. Whenever I want to just flip it on or off, the power is just always plugged in to the wall. Okay, the second piece of gear for this setup is the USB microphone. And for that, we have the Rode NT USB. Now, I have a whole video out about this. I'll link it up on the YouTube card as well as in the description below. But I wanted a good solution for the desk here, and the boom arm was pretty important because one of my goals for this live streaming setup was that it would be quick and easy to just flip on and flip off. So in the past, I would actually carry a stand in and out, but I realized I just want to be able to sit down, you know, turn the camera on, open up the software, and just get going, just get creating content. This setup is going to be used for years to come. So I'm probably going to create over 1,000 videos and live streams just from this setup. So I want it to be right. I want it to be fast. I want it to be solid. And this is a great mic for that. I can move it to all kinds of different locations depending on where I'm sitting or positioned. Good audio quality, super easy to use, a solid choice. All right, the next piece of this kit is this ReadyCam tabletop tripod. Now, I love